Check these big bastards out. Got compression. These are some pistons. I think I'm gonna put in the 454 I'm working on. Couldn't leave well enough alone. The pistons I was gonna use are they're right under 11-to-1 compression. Close to it. These units here, these are some old school 50cc dome TRW forged pistons from back in the day. They ain't made these since 1991. They were the shit back in the day. Pretty strong. Take a pretty good bit of abuse. They weigh a fucking ton, but big block Chevy, you'll have that. That's a 0.580 inch high dome with 50cc. Make about 13-to-1 compression. So much for being daily driver shit. It'll make a lot more power this way. Which I'm probably gonna have to just go straight for the fucking E85 conversion. And then I run it on the street. But 13-to-1 on pump gas and be pushing it. Get away with it. Real light loads and shit, but anytime you try to put the hammer to it, some bitch gonna detonate its ass off. That ain't good. These are fucking new old stock from back in the day. These pistons were installed in an engine a long time ago, and it was never started. The guy never finished the car. It sat in the building for decades. Somebody else bought it and pulled the engine out, took it apart, and parted it out. These are the old TRW Powerforged pistons. They're made for open chamber heads. They're full floating. Got double locks in there. Some big fucking domes. You can run shit like this on pump gas if you really set it up for it. Which I'd need to run an even bigger cam than I'm already going to use, which I was thinking also about putting a solid roller in this fucker instead of a hydraulic roller. I don't know. There's just a few thoughts. I have a bad habit of changing my mind. I'll start out with one idea, the way I want to do it, and by the time it's done, it done turned into a whole nother animal. When I was trying to start out pretty basic, has a way of getting carried away. Should be for the good though. I got a big bullet solid roller. I think it's 276, 282 at 50. 714 lift, 106 load separation. Thinking about sticking it in there. And if I do that, then the springs and shit that match that cam are in those heads over there. So I'll probably use, if I use that solid roller, I'll use those blueprint heads. I don't know. Just an idea here. These fucking pistons are extremely durable. You gotta run with a shitload of wall clearance though. These old school TRWs, I think minimal wall clearance on them's like 6. I'll probably run them about 7 thousandths. Just to be on the safe side. These fuckers expand, knock like hell when they first start up, and after the fucking pistons warm up, they grow. Then that 7 thousandths clearance shrinks down to a more manageable number. But you get that piston knock on startup with these loose fuckers. They're solid dome. Got the ribs in the skirts and shit. Drilled. Oil holes for the oil ring. These fucking things are really antique. Old as the hills. But they've been making good shit for a long fucking time. Drag racing ain't nothing new. People been doing it for 80 plus fucking years, so people been making parts for 80 plus years. 90 years, who even knows when the shit really started. Bootleggers probably running from the law. These would go back to the 70s and 80s. So I believe they stopped production in 91. TRW got bought out by Speed Pro, I believe, or Sealed Power, one of them. They've probably been bought out several fucking times. But TRW, they were always known for pretty quality products back in the day. Back in the 70s and 80s, if you had a set of TRW forged dome pistons in your shit, you was doing alright. They were pretty fucking expensive even back then. Considered high-end shit. So these will make about 13 to 1 compression. This thing's gonna be pretty much a drag engine by the time it's all done and said. It's gonna be pretty much just a drag car. If I do keep it on gas, I'll have to run race fuel. But there they are, TRW dome pistons.